What's going on, guys, and welcome back to LOI TV. Now today we are going to be doing a quick reaction video to match day 1. The first round of the fixtures in the League of Ireland has taken place and we're going to be having a quick look at each game that transpired over the weekend. If you are new around here, please make sure to hit that like button down below, and while you're down there, please make sure to subscribe. We're closing in on the 2k mark, guys, so I really appreciate all the support you've given us recently. So yeah, let's jump right into the video. We are going to start down at Turner's Cross with Cork City taking on Shelburne. And in my prediction video I did fancy Shels to nick it 1-0, and yeah, they nicked it 1-0. Bit smash and grab in the end. Kieran Kilduff heading home in the 86th minute, a bit of a scrappy goal, but Shelburne take all 3 points away from Turner's Cross. Cork definitely had some positives. They definitely had a couple of really good chances to score. I think one of their new signings, one of the defenders, his name's escaped me, he had a really good chance, a header, put it just wide. So there was some positive signs from Cork. It's a very young team, a lot of, I think it was like 9 debutants they had on the side. So that's a lot of new players to have to break into a squad. I think a couple of them were only there a week or two. So it is going to take Cork City a bit of time, but there was definitely some positive signs there. The fans just need to be patient with the Neil Fenn project. But Shelburne will have to be delighted with that. Ian Morris was delighted after the game, of course he was, to go down to Cork City in the first game back in the Premier Division for 7 years, and to claim all 3 points was a fantastic result for Shels. Kieran Kilduff getting off the mark will be a huge positive for them, and his goal scoring tally this season is going to be crucial in terms of where they're going to finish this season. I don't know what their expectations could be, but Shels' side looks quite strong, and who knows where they could go this year. Big test of course coming up from Dundalk on Friday night, so that's going to be an interesting game. Kilduff playing against his former side, so that's going to be an interesting one. But Shelburne anyway, they did escape from Turner's Cross with all 3 points. Next up we have Dundalk and Derry City. Now Dundalk finished 1-0 winners. I predicted a 2-1 win for Dundalk, so I predicted Dundalk to win by 1 goal and they won by 1 goal, so I'm pretty happy with that one as well. Derry City gave a really good account of themselves, and they played some good football. Declan Devine's really got a good thing going there at the moment, so Derry will challenge at the top of the table this season definitely, but Dundalk, really good win for them. The goal was from a corner. Jordan Flores swung it across and Dane Massey finished it off well, so it's a good result for Dundalk to get off the mark with a tough, stubborn Derry City side, tough to get past, so that's a really good win for them, and they'll be delighted to have claimed all 3 points in their first game of the season. Next up we have Finn Harps against Sligo Rovers. Now in this one I predicted a 1-1 draw. I said it was going to be a basement battle. Already I can predict and foresee that being a basement battle game. And Finn Harps actually got all 3 points, a huge win for them. Carlo Sullivan, the man of the match, the new signing from Limerick, scored. He's a young winger. He looked very promising in that game, and he scored the goal to earn Finn Harps a huge 3 points. Come the end of the season, those kind of games for Finn Harps at home, tough. They're going to be a tough side to beat in Donegal. And I'm a little, after seeing that result, it gives me a bit of hope for them this season. They look like they're going to be a very difficult team to beat, even defensively. The likes of David Webster, Shane McElhenney, Kosovar Sadiki. It's a strong defence, and it's going to be a tough gig, especially when Finn Harps are playing at home to score against them. Sligo Rovers, a bit worried about them now. They need to bounce back quickly. Liam Buckley has a lot of work to do, I think, this season if they want to escape the relegation battle. I'm a little bit worried about them, to be honest. I look at their side and it doesn't scream goals. I don't see an awful lot of goals in that team, so I think Sligo have a lot of things they need to put right, and I wouldn't be surprised to see 1 or 2 coming in the door before Friday's deadline. Next up we have St. Pat's, who lost to Waterford 1-0. Now I actually predicted St. Pat's to win the game 1-0, so disappointed to see it go the other way in terms of my predictions, but Waterford did claim all 3 points. It's a fantastic result for them to start the season off on a positive note. They had a lot of new players in their side as well, so for Waterford to get that after a lot of really kind of weird winter period where they didn't really know where the club was going to be for a while, and then to kind of get a good few players in the door, a couple of solid additions to the side, and then to start the season off with a 1-0 win at St. Pat's is a fantastic result for Alan Reynolds' side. As for Stephen O'Donnell, he will take a lot of positives from the game. They played well, they played nice football, and the goal they conceded was an individual error. It wasn't like Waterford broke them down or dominated the game or anything like that. It was a mistake at the back. That can happen. The problem for them is goals. It's been the same. It's been the case for Pats since they had Christy Fagan playing up front. They just don't have enough goals on the side. They don't have a striker that's going to bang them in. Can Martin Rennie do it? He didn't give a terrible account of himself, but this is drawing blanks. It's just not great for Pats. I think that's going to be their area that probably lets them down if they want to crack that top 3, top 4. So for Pats, it's the same, the same old nearly. But Stephen O'Donnell is getting them to play an attractive style of football. It's going to take some time, and yeah, he deserves time to make it work, because I do rate him as a manager. I think he could do really good things with them in the future. Having a goal scorer on your side is just so important for like a short term, for the short term ambitions of the club. And finally, the Dublin Derby. Yeah, a bit of a mad one, to be honest. We didn't have tickets for it ourselves, so we were just watching it in a pub nearby, just outside Derry. We actually got a stream up because RTE didn't actually show the game on television because of something to do with the gantry being unsafe or something like that. It's very, very frustrating for a lot of people around the country, I'd imagine. So disappointing for that not to be on TV. We didn't get tickets for it, of course. It was sold out like that, so it was a tough one to get tickets for, and it feels kind of bad when there is such a demand for tickets, if we're not actually like proper Bows fans. Taking them away from potential Bows fans or actual Bows fans doesn't really sit right with me. So with the Tala games, it's obviously a much bigger attendance, so it's handier to get a ticket for the game. I'd love to see Derry Park being redeveloped and just having all four sides of the stadium just alive at the Dublin Derby would be amazing. But on to the game itself, there was a lot of controversy before the game. Bohemians went into it it wasn't a good start to the afternoon. Obviously the pitch was in bits, so it was hard to get any type of play going, but Dinny Corkin, I believe, was injured in a warm-up. So that was their starting striker not starting the game, which is always going to be tough. Danny Grant is out injured, which is a huge blow for them. He gave them a lot on the right hand side last year. And Danny Mandry was dropped to the bench. I've heard a couple of whispers about potential bust up there, or not a bust up, maybe disagreements and arguments, and maybe that's why he was put onto the bench. That's not a reliable source at all, so don't quote me on that at all, but I'm not too sure about that. It's a little bit worrying for Bows. If there is something festering there within the team, it's a little bit of a worrying time for them, with Danny Mandry being, of course, one of their better players, one of the best players in the league last season, so that's a bit of a concern for Bohemians fans. And this game was pretty poor, to be honest. Tough game to play in with the conditions of the pitch. Both sides tried to play a little bit of ball, but it was just so difficult. Jack Byrne did look fantastic, to be fair to him. He looked a little bit of a step above, and he just controlled the game. And he was part of the goal that won it in the end, the 93rd minute, was it? Aaron Green snatching it in the last minute. Shamrock Rovers fans absolutely ecstatic with that. To escape from Derry Park with all 3 points is a fantastic result for Shamrock Rovers to start the season off on, and it's a really positive start to the campaign for Stephen Bradley's side. As for Bohemians, it's something to be worried about. Yeah, obviously they have 3 more cracks at the whip in terms of the Dublin Derby and to get the pride back, and they just have to move on from this one to start the season again. Next week I think they're away at Waterford, which is going to be a tough fixture for them, so they just need to start fresh there and try to get 3 points on the board and kick on. But Chris Twardick, a lot of Bows fans are very, very impressed with him on his debut for the club, so that's going to be an interesting one to keep an eye on. He looks like a fantastic signing. So there's a couple of positives for Bows, a couple of negatives for Bows, and all positives for Shamrock Rovers. Wasn't great to see the 2 fans outside, a couple of idiots outside having a bit of a brawl outside the stadium, which wasn't great to see, to be fair. But yeah, it's a stupid minority from both sides. I saw a couple of people blaming either side, but I think both sides are equally to blame, to be fair. So it's just one of those things where it's the minority kind of putting across a bad reputation for the league, so it's a bit disappointing to see. But anyway guys, there you have it, my reaction to this weekend's games. Hope you enjoyed the video guys. Please make sure to drop a like on it below if you did, and let me know what you thought of all the games down in the comments below. Please make sure to like, share, and most importantly subscribe.